And am I live? Is it working? Woo! Oh, you know it's not working? Why isn't the chat thing working? It worked before. Hold on. We're going to be fixing stuff and things. We're going to do this live. So I figured out, but I actually have to do this here, live, here, there, to make this actually work. And let's see if I do pop out chat. Oh, neat. So there's the pop out. Copy. Then I'm going to go here. I'm actually in real time. I'm either going to break the feed or make the feed. So let's see which one occurs when this happens. So welcome to Vlog Thursday, episode whatever number we're on. It's some big number, 130 something. I'm going to go back and look in just a second. There we go. There we go. So what we're going to do is, there's no way to test this until I go live. So this is not really a test. It's not going to break the live stream, but I like the chat overlay people had, so I wanted to put the chat overlay on there so it's all integrated right into the video. I'm just have not spent the time researching exactly how to do this, and now that I know how to do this, this is really interesting. So now, this is also the why people don't like two-factor. You know how many two-factor numbers I have? But it does help me sleep at night. This list is long. It scrolls. That's how many two-factor numbers. Like, I'm not going to show you guys. It just seems like some weird security risk if I showed you. But yes, all these two-factor numbers, it's a thing. It's a thing. So let's see how many people are joining me in here. Oh, restore chat. There we go. All right, now we go over to studio. You guys are going to kick out of this if it works. And I can only do this now. The only thing, actually, staff, people, are my people watching? I'm going to call them. We're going to call my office from here so I don't have to go in there and I can keep working. I need them to do a thing. I'm going to see if they answer the phone. While I'm here, hey, here's the phone ringing. I know I'm goofing off too much. I'll get the live stream going in just a second here. I'm trying to get this fixed right here. Hey, is my computer still on in my office? Where's the properties? I can actually see it better there. There we go. Properties. I got a new URL for this. Delete. Paste. Hold on, I gotta copy it again. One more second. And then you guys will see the chat pop right up. It's gonna be cool. Oh, we got a lot of people here. Do the thing! I know, I'm trying to do the thing. Pop out chat. Copy. Paste. I want to paste. Oh, I've had this problem before. Damn it. Hold on. Come on. Properties. The computer's lagging really bad, so it's making my life a little bit more difficult. Oh yeah, it now went in. So now we hit done. Hey, there you guys are. Not exactly how I wanted it. It's supposed to have a transparent background. I don't know why it doesn't. So at least the chat's working. It shows up on the screen here. I don't know if that's good or bad. I should be able to make it a little bit narrower though too. Let's see if that works. Oh, that makes it really too small. That doesn't work at all. Why won't it go transparent? I have the transparent settings. Well, this clearly needs more work. Can I make it bigger if I go taller? Nope, that scales it that way as well. Are you guys seeing this? I guess that's the next question. Look at the. I'll have to go over here and read the chat. So restore chat. Let's see. Oh, right around the corner in Westland. Awesome, the suspense. Latency is too shabby considering the distance to Jupiter. As you're saying, from Holland Thomas, make it 100%. Yeah, I will just make this one giant chat session, right? So, are you guys seeing it? I guess that's the question. So I can see it. That's kind of cool. It's working, but the problem I have is it's kind of bulky. It's like, it's not doing the font thing I want to do. It's supposed to be transparent. So you guys can see it, so we're halfway there. We're almost there. You're working through this with me. I'm gonna, you know, if someone's an OBS expert, I'll drop some remote access for you. Just fix it for me. I'm cool with this. Anyone a OBS expert? Just curious. This isn't me, clearly. I should know how to do this. This should not be this hard. You go to properties. YouTube should just build things for this, right? 800, 600, refresh. Yes, it's got all the transparency settings. It's just not. And I don't have an answer as to the why. All right, well, I tried. That's all I can do. Anyways, back to Vlog Thursday. Do I leave it up or not? I guess that's the next question. Should it stay or should it go? Is it useful to have the chat there? Let's do a survey. I'm down with some OBS. Yeah, I don't know why. I dropped the transparency in there, and it was in the demo, it was transparent, but the demo is not the live. So I don't think it's that great, because if it was transparent and the font was cool, I was going to make it all like neat looking. Right now it's not neat looking at all. So all right, we will simply, I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to go here. I'm opening up. Actually, you guys can see what I'm doing if you want. This is actually what I see. Oh, this is going to get meta. I am controlling OBS from my laptop with an overlay. This is our Screen Connect system that's controlling it, which I'm blurring out customer stuff in the background there. And then we're just going to go, oh, if I switch this, it goes back to the main camera. Yeah. And then I'm just going to, for now, turn off the YouTube chat. I think that's what turns it off, is that right there. All right. Back to stop screwing around. And actually, I have to close something on my computer, so it's going to be 1 second. I have it open, and it's going to cause a drop frame if I leave it open, because I have a Screen Connect session to this computer so I could get the live stream working and da-da-da-da-da. So 1 moment, please.
We couldn't hear you. Yeah, I was talking to the phone for a minute, and then I heard you were like talking on the video. I was like, oh.
I left the Screen Connect session open, and it runs the CPU up on this over time.
Ooh, gotcha.
Okay. Now I'm ready for the main event. Now that I'm done screwing around, clearly that was a fail all the way around. Doing it live, and it was bad. All right, there you go. Should I stay or should I go now? I know I'm not, well, if I sing it, trust me, I sing so bad it's not going to be a copyright problem. But I have stuff to play with. I have things on my table here. I have this. We have an overhead. Watch this. So we press a magic button over here. We can go right to the overhead. And I got a box of goodies right here. We're going to just talk about some of the things I have, and I just got to get through them all. These are the Volta chargers. These are pretty neat. And what this is here is some charging cables I'm going to be talking about. Of course, a lot of you know what this is, a little neck gate box. I have an idea to do a failover, an HA failover with 2 of these. What do you guys think? Is that a fun video? Did the audio go away? Chat got fuzzy robot voice. The audio went bad with the overhead cam. Oh, I got to fix the overhead cam. It's pulling in audio again. So, got it. Audio's messed up with the overhead jet. That's good information. So I won't switch to the overhead again. I had this problem before, and I don't know what causes it. I actually have the audio turned off on there. But then today, the cam link, which drives the overhead, there's a series of USB feeds that go into this. And the cam link on the overhead was causing problems. And I just have to disable and re-enable the cam link. But at the same time, it must have activated the audio from the cam link, and I want no audio from the cam link, obviously. Yeah, audio clipping with the overhead. That's interesting. Yeah, I need audio HA for failover on this. These are some stupid problems. Anyways, no, I know it's wrong. I'd have to spend time going through the OBS settings. So the cam link so I had the AverMedias. They work wonderful. I wanted to give the cam link a try, so I said, try something different. Try the cam link. That thing's buggy. It's just not. It's only like $15 less than the AverMedia, but headaches like this. Like, here's an example. The first time I did it, I recorded a video. All of my overhead shots are ruined. All of them, because the audio was goofed up on the overhead. And it's just one of those aggravations. And then all I did today was just at 4:55, I was resetting the cam link again. So, yeah. Make a pop-out chat window. Yeah, it's what I had done, and I put it in, and it's not displaying. The CSS isn't overriding like it's supposed to. So I kind of know what's wrong. I just don't know why yet. It's supposed to override the CSS for transparent. It did it before I went live, and it showed transparency. Now it's not. So I don't really get that. Anyways, audio is good now. Caught up with everybody. I am looking at doing my audio completely different also. I may buy another mixer board. I had some trouble when I recorded that Entrepreneurship video, for those of you that may have watched it, that I posted yesterday. One of the challenges when you have mixing 4 people in of different levels, then it goes, all 4 people get mixed down into the Canon camera. And I realized right away, I'm like, I kind of need to split the tracks up. I don't have anything that's got 4 audio inputs to do a 4 audio track record. So now I'm looking at mixer boards, because a few people asked for part 2. I think all my friends would be willing to come back for a part 2 of Entrepreneurship, because we didn't even get to, there's a whiteboard over here. I'm looking at it. It didn't get to the topic we wanted to talk about. We just kind of started riffing and had a good time. And I think the video turned out really well, but we have some bullet points we want to talk about that next time. So I think there will be a part 2, and there may be Tom buying a mixer board to have 4 separate audio tracks. That way in post, if someone's a little hot on the mic, I can level out them as a separate channel rather than all of us being mixed into one channel, and then I had to do a bunch of normalizing on the audio to get the balance out between talking. Here's my question. Why would you not just use VLAN 1 as the management VLAN? That's just the easier solution, and it's common practice. You put all the stuff in VLAN 1, and then you VLAN out all the other traffic to be segmented, as opposed to putting it, and it's a philosophical argument, putting it in a management VLAN without DHCP. You can do that too, but then you have to go and adjust every device to be the management VLAN, and then you run into the weird problems of occasionally some devices don't like being managed outside of VLAN 1. So yeah. That's my answer for that question. I don't think DHCP is really a problem. You can do, DHCP, and then with like pfSense, I do things like, but you never have untagged traffic. You then trunk everything at the port, so what comes out of each port's untagged, so they don't have an opportunity to strip the tags out from it. And anyone who has, and by the way, if someone's using like Frogger and doing VLAN hopping, yes, they're, if you like old Cisco equipment, but if they have that level of access, they're going to find all your tags, because they're going to sniff the entire VLAN traffic, figure out all the tags, and figure out which network they belong to. Do you switch the fade of blue lights in the UAPs? Oh yeah, they do fade over time. Some of them do. That's common. There is a known issue with some of the older models from like 2015 where they would just kind of, the LEDs, I don't know, they just didn't hold up over years and years of being on. Minor issue. We went to a place and I asked them, like, when we took over a client that had some old APs. I said, are they working? They said, oh yeah, they work fine. They're just all the 2.4 gigahertz, but I realized all the lights were gone on them. So, Yeah, I get your point though about the management VLAN traffic. Maybe we'll sit down and have a philosophy another network engineering design talking about that. But you know, if you're doing everything and you're actually tying it together right, and for example, like our studio switch, the native network is removed from all of these unless it's added. So like whenever we put a switch in for someone, we implicitly, like if they're generally an office network, we usually move everything to office VLAN. Only the devices we need to do, we back out later to the other VLAN. That's what keeps you from accidentally plugging something in and popping onto management LAN. But it's 6 one way, half dozen the other. You could say, oh, that way you implicitly do that. I've watched people implicitly accidentally set management ports because they forgot and they switch them all back. Whichever discipline works is how it's going to end up working, but obviously you have to have discipline either way. That's the part people don't always have. Anyways, what else we got here? Keep it simple. Nothing's simple. Yeah, don't put it on there because if you make a mistake, but yet I've seen people make mistakes because they start having to put everything onto management VLAN to get all the devices, and it also creates the challenge of when you have to send everything out there and making sure you have everything tagged on there. Like I said, it's a philosophical argument. Yes, you could use radius access control and do that, but then people get into spoofing it, and if they know a MAC address, so they can ARP spoof, listen, find a MAC address of something that's authenticated, and try to knock it out of the network list. So there's ways around that too. It all depends on, you know, how tight you unwrap the tinfoil hat. Once they start having, you know, direct, some almost physical access, it becomes really hard to get them out. When you have a device, let's say you have a Raspberry Pi that you're going to sniff a network, you're going to sniff until you find a way. You're just going to run through the list. All the VLAN tags. Is this an all? Is this a management VLAN? Oh, does it have DHCP? Oh, it sounds like it filters. Let me just keep link layer and ARPing all the time until we dive into it, until we figure out a way that we can figure out one MAC address on this network that we can match and spoof, and maybe we can get in here and maybe we can grab some more traffic. So, and mistakes can be made no matter what. So that's really what a lot of this comes down to. No matter which thing you do, a mistake can be made. There is simply no other way around it. It's discipline, it's auditing, it's after you're done. One of our processes that we build out stuff all the time. Even if I'm the one doing it, I'm not so proud of my work to say I don't need anyone to check it, and that's exactly what I do. I'm like, hey, check my work, go over and review all the settings. Here's this. We whiteboarded one out the other day to have a second set of eyes. I had Steve audit something that is going into a data center. We did the build, we went through all of it, we did the scenario testing. Then I said, Steve, please go over this, tell me where I made a mistake. And that's how I word it. I don't know that I made a mistake, but you say things like that. And then, you know, we go through and a second set of eyes looks at stuff when it comes to, you know, detailed levels of security. Now, I'm only going to briefly talk about these. I'm going to do a video maybe tomorrow. I don't think I really had time today. I don't feel like doing the overhead thing. These say, oh, I dropped some tips. Just the tip. There you go. Volta cable, Volta charger. There we go. Man, I'm dropping everything. What is all this? These are magnets. Magic. So what this is a magnet kit, and we've talked about these before about a year ago on the channel. We loved version 1. They were awesome. But not really the, I can't really see not the fault of Volta, because it's more just abuse. Do you see this little bit sticking out of my phone here? And we'll get this focused in. That is the magnetic tip for my phone. And there we go. So that's the magnetic tip on my phone. And that magnetic tip is how I charge my phone. So watch this. Oh, is that cool? It can pull away, but then it just goes right to it. They're 2.0. They made this part a little more durable. So the cables are outstanding. They're amazing. They're tough. They got a video of people picking up bricks with these, and you know they're. You can see put some effort on this. These are really strong cables. But then they also have this little magnet tip on there, which holds up really well too. So I've been using this one. Well, we got more than one of them, but one just like this one in my Tesla, because the Tesla has a USB charger, and I can just set my phone and it just grabs it and charges. No whittling anything in. I love these chargers. This is what I have in my office. But this is their 2.0 version I'm going to be reviewing. They're really cool. They've made the little end a little bit tougher because it used to have like a crimped together piece. And what happened is after I dropped my phone enough times, so do you want to blame Volta or do you want to blame Tom for being an idiot? But you got to expect Tom's going to drop his phone because people drop phones. It would crack. And I'd have to replace this little end, but the cable would be fine. So now their new ones have gotten better, so it's really cool. Let's see. Smooth wall for the filtering. Management is default because you make a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I just watched your video on Amazon YouTube, but more IT related. Do you have IT clients outside your local service radius? If so, what percentage? That is growing quickly because of YouTube. So we're getting more managed clients, and what we're doing is co-managed IT. I'm still working on exactly like tweaking it, but we've been picking up co-managed IT. What that means is either you the watcher because you do IT for someone, or you, the watcher, and you work for someone as the IT person. We're doing co-manage, which allows us to take care of that back end. We'll take care of all the SolarWinds, the monitoring, cybersecurity, a lot of the back end stuff. Be there for you if you need a project. Take care of monitoring, patching, antivirus, web filtering, the whole gamut for a monthly fee. But we have zero interaction with your customer or with your company. So we only interact with either you, the IT person, or you, the other external IT person. We don't want your customer. We don't want them in our system. We don't want their contact information. We keep it very clean like that. That way we're helping you with the back end, and those clients are a lot. Now, obviously, that means we have a couple of them that are out of state that we're doing right now, and they're kind of the test bed for this. No problems. It works well, but obviously, if you need a mouse fixed or a power supply fixed, we can't do it. That's why we call it co-managed IT. So you're going to still be the boots on the ground person who handles the first layer. We also aren't help desk. I just don't got time for that. It's not where I want to take my business. So you still have to take care of whatever help desk issues, but we'll help you with your help desk issue, as in you're like, how do I get this Active Directory server set up the way I need to? I'm having some type of storage or hypervisor problem, higher end problems. But if the user goes, how does Outlook work? That is up to you to fix. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Think I'm going to Windows 2000 server. Quite true. All disciplines. Sorry, Edward, I don't know. If you're looking for real-time help because the chats are scrolling by, sometimes post in my forums. I reply. Go look at my history in the forums. You'll see I reply daily in the forums. So if you ask if you ask anything in the forums, you'll see pretty much all the time at least some level of reply, unless you ask something so ridiculous that I don't know what you're asking. And that's usually what I reply. I don't understand your ask. So I try to reply to everybody in the forums, or at least somebody always does. Have you moved clients completely to the cloud? Sometimes, but yes, it kind of depends. Sometimes you do move them to the cloud, but it's not as often as you think. A lot of times we just move their app to the cloud, and usually they live. Desktop as a service is cool, but not many companies can afford it. It's not that cost effective. The other side of it, though, someone has to do security audits. Me, yes, no. You can contact me for a security audit. We're going to defer you over to refer to video with Xavier. Yes, we are doing security work. You can hire us for all kinds of application testing and everything else. You can contact me directly, or if you watch How They Got Hacked, Xavier's I don't have his contact info at the tip. It's part of the Detroit Cybersecurity. Xavier is, he runs that company. It's a separate company that he runs, and we delegate all the security work to him for all the audit work. So yes, we do security audits. Yes, we indirectly do, I should say. We're going to farm it out to Xavier, but you can contact us, say, on there, and we'll take care of you on that. So we're going to do some more videos about it. If you look through the video, we did application testing. We kind of explained the process in that video. Me and Xavier are working on a lot of stuff on back end to try to make it clear on all the services we offer related to security. So, what are you? Have you been tasked with, I read that one. Do you have any experience to support extreme network switches? We've worked on so many different ones. Clients have a variety from Fortinet. We just did some work on a Juniper. What else ones we do? There's a list of them we're always working on. Zyxel, we have clients with those, so we'll work on all kinds of fun stuff. Maybe not our preferred, but it's not that we can usually figure it out. We just did a bunch of Cisco, oh God, it was old, Cisco ASAs. That was like pulling back from memory lane, the way those worked. If you remember the stupid Java interface thing that they had, it's awful. I hate even doing those, but if you pay me enough money, I will. What's your opinion about Backblaze? We use Backblaze. I got a video on it. We have a lot of our stuff backing up to Backblaze for clients like these. We have FreeNAS ones too. We have FreeNAS to Backblaze. We have Synology to Backblaze. We like Backblaze. We've been really happy with them overall. I don't use. Someone said their software's not good. I've honestly can't tell you that because I've never ever used it. We use their bucket storage and we tie it to. We have Cloudberry backups to Backblaze. We have Synology backups to Backblaze, and we have FreeNAS. We've helped people configure all of these out there, and we still. Cloudberry / MSP360, their new name. But yeah, their software is great with a Backblaze backend. What category should I post it? I don't know what your question was, Edward. If you get it in the wrong category, I don't hate you. So guess. Do your best guess of whatever category you want to post it in there. Google is your friend when you need CLI help with ASAs. Yes, yes, it is, especially when you haven't touched them in a long time. Yeah, using B2 to mirror things. B2's great. It's a nice service. It's very reasonably priced. We've been looking at Wasabi because I think they have an interesting offering. I've listened to some interviews with the CEO. I think it's a cool product. I haven't really had time to do any strong evaluation on it. To my knowledge, they only have 2 data centers, which is probably adequate, but they have a really interesting way. They took storage approach by not just saying, we're going to do it for less. They looked at things at a very different way. Their storage system works different than anybody else's. So Wasabi still, if you're ever wondering of another option out there, it's kind of interesting. Veeam has a community edition now. Yeah, I don't use Veeam. I've heard about it. I don't have anyone using it. Yeah, I don't think we see roaming profiles anymore. No, that's redirected folders. So that's not... Yeah, Wasabi and Sushi are really good. Cloudberry to Google Drive. I need to do an updated Cloudberry video. Working out the details. Cloudberry is good. I'm going to be doing some videos with them. They're sponsoring some stuff. Well, under MSP360, we're working out the details. So you'll see that. And once again, you guys know how transparent I am. For those of you that watch my revenue video, I will be disclosing anytime it's a sponsored thing. I'm not being paid to review their software, but I'm going to be doing some interviews with them in IT and everything else. And it's going to be in trade for access to a trade show. And so it's kind of, they're not like, I won't let anyone just, like, I don't mind people giving me access because Microsoft did that. Microsoft flew me to their 3 biggest events so I could create podcasts and interview people. Cloudberry's working out a similar thing. I mean, it's not the same as getting paid for it. They're just giving me access because they're going to bring me to the place where everybody's at a big IT event where I get to speak with and interview and line up people. So yeah, they're doing some facilitating, but it doesn't, I'm not like, hey, paid to make this content. No, I'm not being paid to make the content. That is something I have a restriction on that I just don't, I've been offered, I just don't want to do it. It feels, it's one of the reasons we never take, so my SMLR podcast, we have over 300 episodes, and we have not got paid for any, people don't pay us to do our episodes. That's one of our rules. Like, that's not how we want it. That's why there's no sponsorship on that at all. We don't want to have any bias. We just want to talk about Linux with some friends. That's how we run that podcast. Powerline home networking is trash, so... don't do powerline networking. Yeah, there's not anything different about rules for VLANs as there are for anything. If your VLAN's not set up right, that's usually the first problem. So the rules are the same in VLANs as they are. Matter of fact, if we get to it today, that's one of the reasons this box is sitting here, and that's one of the reasons this is sitting here, an EdgeSwitch 10X to start, talking a little bit about VLANs and everything else. So, yeah. Yeah, Powerline's trash. We've actually tried the Powerline. LOL at it? Yes. That's how I feel about using it. What else we have here? Yeah, power's trash. Should you start out enterprise gear, consumer gear if you want to try building a server in 1 gig or okay? You can build everything on 1 gig. All depends. It's not going to be as fast as 10 gig. You can perfectly fine do it. It's just about speed. For testing and consumer stuff, go cheap. I mean, go with what's your budget. If you're got people who are just throwing money at you and it's unlimited, awesome. Buy that cool ass 10 gig gear. But if you don't have the money, you can build it for less. So. SMLR.us is our podcast. Sunday Morning Linux Review, SMLR.us, that's the podcast I'm talking about. So we just talk about Linux. It's just a Linux-focused podcast. Let's see. I'm using MikroTik cheap 10 gig. Yeah. Get some of the techs. Yeah, well, they're all really busy actually getting paid right now, doing paid work. They do come in here when they have time, but when they're doing paid work, they're literally on. I know the schedule. I can see it. People book us, and they're booked up my tech's time. That's why what I called, one of them answered, but I know he's doing a bunch of things right now, so he couldn't do the thing. That's why I had to get up and go do the thing I needed to do. So, yeah. No, MikroTik sometimes and they're hard to get a hold of, but I really like that MikroTik 10 gig SFP switch. I tried to get one. They were always on back order, and I kind of forgot about it. I don't know if they're still as hard to get as they used to be. I wanted to do a review of it. I know Chris, when Chris got his, Chris put in for the review, he put in to buy it for a while. It took him a long time. He said when it arrived, he couldn't remember why he bought it. He's like, it took him 3 months to get or something stupid. I looked at URBack and I was confused as well, just in general, not just on FreeNAS. I don't know the product, so I can't really do a tutorial on things. I haven't had time to learn the product. I looked at it. I just don't deal with enough Linux backups and things like that with it. It looks kind of cool, but there's not great documentation for URBack. So it's cool looking in general, but it also feels kind of dated. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Yeah, you're lucky you had a local guy with you, sure. Oh, I'm Linux all day, every day. No, I don't use Mac at all. People ask Mac questions all the time. Hey, how can I do that same thing you just showed me in Linux on my Mac? I see that in the comments on my YouTube videos, and I always scratch my head. I'm like, I don't know. Take your Mac and throw it away and get Linux box on a box that's running Linux. I don't know. I always find those questions kind of odd. So, yeah, I got paired on my laptop. As a matter of fact, let's, what do we got here? I just did a video on this, and we can, does the audio still good here? Let me know, but it shouldn't be switching to the overhead for audio. It still should be doing this right here. Looks like it is. Anyways, this is Parrot GNU Linux 4.7. I just did an updated video on this. I really like Parrot on my laptop, and I'm still using Pop! OS on my desktop. So, audio is fine. Yoo-hoo! MikroTik is good, can't be bothered learning. That's the same thing I feel about MikroTik. I don't think it's a horrible thing. I just don't have time to learn the command line on it and everything else. We played with a few of them that some customers had, and I'm like, wow, everything seems harder than it should be on the MikroTik, and it just seemed more steps. And I just kind of decided I don't need more steps to get things done. Hey Tom, love the stream. What do I need to have a second building, another location, act as if the network is local to you? You can use zero tier or you can use a VPN. Either one of those will work as a solution. Anybody got a good AP? Yeah, UniFi. I've done a video on this topic. Now, I'm here to talk about VLANs, right? I think so. That sounds right. So let's talk about VLANs. I'm going to log in. Let me make sure I get the password to this, and then we'll switch over to it. I got to log into a few things, and I'll switch back over to the screen so I can share with the class exactly what I'm doing here. Why is it? Did I do it right? Oh, no. I gotta get the password right. All right, we're logged into the thing 1. And now we gotta log into thing 2. All right, and then we'll start playing with some VLANs in real time. I'm gonna do some advanced videos on VLANs, and one of the things I'm gonna showcase here is how VLANs go across different networks and stuff like that. So, firmware updates available. This is the wrong, I gotta switch to the proper client now. Come on. These are all stuff I can't show you because this is actually in our stack with all of our client stuff, so I can't just, yeah. Go computer, go. Go Ubiquity, go. Sometimes my computer's a little slow because it's an old i5. I know people always ask me what laptop this is. It's an X250 ThinkPad. It's a good laptop. I like it, but it is getting noticeably slower when I'm doing things like have the chat windows open and have the UniFi stuff open and watching this stuff. It gets a little painful. Let's see, we follow up all the chat here. That's why I was hoping the Zero Tier works great. I use LastPass. That's the password manager choice. VPN solution. Yeah, Cisco's, I mean, you can get really granular with the Cisco stuff, and there's better documentation for Cisco than there is for MikroTik. Yeah. Passwords are obsolete. Har, har, har. Yep. Okay. That's fine. VLANs are conflicting rules. Oh, subnet versus VLAN. The short answer is subnet is the logical is a network. So a network would have 192.168.1.1 or 1.0/24. That would be /24 is the actual subnet. It's a subnet of the 192.168.1.1. I'd need a whiteboard to really break and explain. VLAN is a logical separation. Picture another physical port on there. So that's a whole different. So, yeah, that's move to 1Password from LastPass. No real reason except things. Yeah, I was worried when LastPass got bought, but yeah. That's a whole other thing. Would a printer be that needs to be accessible on a guest network? Don't put printers on. Well, you can put printers on guest network as long as you're the one supporting it, not me. I see people want to separate their printers on a separate network, especially if they're consumer-style printers. Yeah, they're a security risk. Also, they're a headache to put on a separate network sometimes, depending on the model. And I've had this argument with people before, and I've talked about it in a few videos when I talk about my small office network setup. Cool, you can figure out all the ports between them. You can get MDNS to bridge across VLANs if it's using MDNS, but sometimes it still doesn't work properly because it expects it to be in the same subnet because that's who writes these printer drivers, people who don't think about segmenting things into separate networks. There aren't any great alternatives to Microsoft Active Directory. That's why I've not bothered with a video. There's a bunch of kind of solutions. There's some cloud identity management solutions, but there's not really there. I have no opinion on extreme switches. I see you ask. I just don't have an opinion on them. Let me see. Dashlane's okay too. We use the paid version of LastPass, and we're using it for all of us corporate, so we're all using it. That's part of the reason we have it switched. It isn't broke. It's still secure. We pay for it. We use the business version. We like it. And there hasn't been a reason to switch to another one. Yeah, that 4K OLED is awesome looking. I don't know when I'll upgrade my laptop. It's not critical for me. Hey, 1Password's Canadian. I don't know if that's a good or bad reason to switch. There's one of those. I have to dump all the passwords and move them. That's probably the other reason I don't switch. Yeah, overlapping VLANs. I've seen people try to do that. If you try to do it in pfSense, it gives you an error and won't let the VLANs overlap. You can, well, here's the thing. For your guest network, that's actually not uncommon for people to pay for a separate line for them. We split them out right now. One of the hospital networks, the guest network goes to a generic cable modem, and the rest of the network goes to a fiber line with a group of IPs. Part of the reason why is they don't want the guests or anything the guests do to potentially go out the same IP that medical traffic because they do traffic inspection. So they actually have two circuits. They have like a regular Comcast modem, and then they have a Comcast commercial fiber block, and we split the network. So the guest VLAN is all routed over that, essentially consumer grade, but it's in a business, so they charge you business, but it's a cheap Comcast, and that is their guest network at a few medical places. So they do split it. It's not about paranoia. Just think about it. And you can do this, of course, if you have a block of IPs. You could separate the guest traffic to just one of the other IPs. They used a couple of the IPs. They have them whitelisted so they can log into some of the medical devices that are external to their office with their cloud. The cloud implicitly makes them list the IPs. So they just put all the guest traffic, and they just pay for this $100 a month circuit for Comcast to have the guest traffic over here. So it works. It gets the job done. So that's another way. It's not necessary paranoia, but it's, yeah. Oh, perfect. Ed found what he needed in the forum. Awesome. Yeah, but it comes down to design. Like we don't even have a guest network, but a lot of the small businesses, they don't care. We put in separate networks for their credit card processing. Everything else are separate, but the guest network is the guest network. MyKai Password Manager, never used it, no opinion. Yes, there are videos for GPU pass-through because I found out that those Tesla cards are cheap, so that's definitely a video up and coming on that. All right, now we got the studio switch. We're gonna pop this out. And, oh, I should probably show you guys. There we go. So here is studio switch. And studio switch is in port 12 behind me, which is this port right here. Goes into 12. You can take my word for it. And what this is doing is feeding, and this is where the fun of VLANs go. We would like to feed our UniFi EdgeSwitch into port 1 so we can trunk it. And that means by setting profile all, I have all VLANs heading over to the EdgeSwitch. So now let's look at the EdgeSwitch. Now, everyone asks me, like, what's the difference between EdgeSwitch and UniFi switch? Easy. Here's the UniFi switch. Here's how we change ports on a UniFi switch. Here's how we're going to go and edit the UniFi switch. And here's all the VLANs for it. And I've talked about how to create a VLAN inside of there. You could just go and create the VLAN. You just type it in, give it a tag, and then I can hit the pull down and check boxes and ports. And that sounds simple, right? Oh, then our friend the EdgeSwitch. This is where life isn't simple. So to make the same VLANs work, we had to create this, then we had to create a trunk port, then we had to untag this port, exclude each other port. So I wanted port 2 to be VLAN 50, which means I have to exclude, untag VLAN 50. And then for this one, I have to exclude, untag, exclude to get VLAN 69 to work. And if you get more VLANs, you can see how this gets more and more complicated. And this is like the first step I want to talk about this. So if you haven't seen this before, this is why I'm going to do an in-depth video on the differences between them and how much more challenging. It's not impossible to do, but just comes down to, even with the UI, yeah, it's a lot of steps to create all these VLANs on there. Let's see. Oh, epic builds? Yeah, we'll get around to the epic builds. Yeah, an epic build would be awesome, but someone's got to fund it. Unless they want to send me the stuff to do it, they're just too expensive. I don't have any clients requesting it, so yeah. But so we're going to show how all that works. Now, this is where things get a little confusing to me, and I'm going to probably end up temporarily breaking my... this stream will go fine, but I'm going to lose your chat for a second when this happens. But what I want to show is what happens when I get an IP address. So now we're going to do watch-n1 IP-4A. Now what this did was, it's just refreshing the screen every 1 second to see all the IP addresses I have assigned. I'm going to take the magic network cable and we're going to plug it in to, I think I wanted it on, look at the port assignments. I want it on VLAN 69. So that's going to be port 3 because we have trunk here, untag, exclude, untag. What was this one? That's port 4. And then that's port 3 untagged on VLAN 69. So now port 3 should give me VLAN 69. We'll tab over to this. And watch it work. Magic here. Now, this is a puzzle I have. So currently it is 17:44 and 50 seconds. It takes, and this is a test that I just haven't done enough research into, but we did find this weird. When we trunk a VLAN out of one UniFi into an EdgeSwitch, so it's going UniFi to EdgeSwitch, it's going to take 45 seconds to get an IP address assigned to my network adapter. But my network adapter, the link light is up, it's showing up, everything is up, but I'm just not getting an IP address, and I don't know the why. Matter of fact, if we, can I set this on top? Resize, no, window shortcut. Keep above others, there we go. Oh, I got the IP address, so it doesn't matter now, but I can still do this and show it. So there's the 192.168.69 IP address. That took 45 seconds to get. Now let me see if it broke it sometimes temporarily breaks this. So, wow, there's a lot of messages. I'm trying. Sometimes it's a challenge of the messages. I'm gonna scroll back a little bit. Let's see. Cheapest network cable tester you'd recommend? I'm going to do a video on cheap network testers. We're going to order a couple of them because we have some already, and I'm going to cover a couple ones I like that are like $20. So let's see. I have your VLAN question. Throw it in the forums. That's a longer answer. It took 4 days to figure out a Ubiquiti EdgeSwitch. Yeah. What else we got? 25 meg. You maybe need an IP helper on VLAN 69. I don't know. It shouldn't be spanning tree, but why does it take so long to get this IP address? Because if I drop this, and let's see, it might break my internet connection temporarily, but the recording's going to keep going. So you're going to watch. It's going to drop the IP address right away. So, okay, ETH0's down. ETH0 down. Let's go over here to port 9. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to do this in about 20 seconds or less. Yeah, about 15 seconds. I got an IP address now. Why? You can see, like, I'm just plugging into physically a port right next to it, but I'm bypassing the EdgeSwitch. And it's only the EdgeSwitch. It doesn't matter if I don't trunk the VLANs. If I give it the native network as well, it still does it. So we've been playing around with the EdgeSwitches a lot. We like them. We just did a deployment. That's what brought all this up. We had a really funky problem, and I'm going to do a debrief video on that later. It's complicated, and I want to make sure I have all my documents right. So can you set it to an edge access port? I think so, and that's one of the things I got to do is try all the options on there. Maybe we can try that real quick to see if that makes a difference. So if we set that port to be an edge port, actually, can I put this on top. Hey, there we go. That's cool. I can now put this on the top. Yeah, I'll put it there. As long as you guys can see the IP addresses on it. And let's see, that was port number 3. So if we set this, set this switch to be enabled as an edge, how fast do we get an IP address if we turn it on as edge? So that's a good suggestion. I like that suggestion. You guys are actually helping me on this. So go back over to the chat. So all right, I gotta wait for the IP address to drop. Does take a second. There we go, we lost the IP address. And let's see how quick we get the IP address back. 49, 1, 2. It's roughly, I did it just about at the 50-second mark, so let's see how long it takes. Hey, good suggestion. That's awesome. So you set it to edge and that solves it. That's interesting. I wonder if the UniFi switches have that enabled by default. But that's interesting. So switching it to edge definitely fixed it. You guys are helping. This is better than me Googling it. You're answering the questions. Every time I get stuck on a network engineering problem, I'm just gonna open up a live stream. I think this is the future of solving network engineering problems. Live stream your problem. And there's actually someone, the study, I can't remember, it happened a long time ago, but it was really funny. The person concluded, this is such a great study, that if you really want to know if something's right, just post the wrong answer to something that you absolutely know is wrong somewhere like Twitter, and you will find a bunch of people who will do the research to give you the correct one. It turns out that's easier than doing it yourself. It's kind of the same thing here. Yeah, 200 heads are better than one for sure. And that's one of the reasons I started the forums. One, it sounds like Ed found his answer in the forums, but that's one of those things. Like the forums are good because it becomes a history of questions and answers to get things done like that. So that solved that problem. So I got the IP a lot faster. I think that's really cool. So that was that part of it. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 6 o'clock. I do have to go do a thing pretty soon. Ooh, I'm pushing all my traffic out over here. So if you haven't seen the edge switches, and let me take this so it's not on top. You know, that stupid little feature, just being able to put things on top. I get so lost when I go to Windows and realize I just can't do that by clicking on a window. I've been using Linux since like 2011 full time, so it feels weird when I go to Windows. I feel like I'm missing all the features. An interesting note though about this edge switch. Please note what's missing from here. The new Edge 10Xs don't have the old interface with all the advanced features. They crippled these things. The only way to get to any advanced features is from the command line. So you can do a lot of the real advanced programming that someone may want for an edge switch. They're really diverse. They're a good product. But you sometimes have to go in the command line to get to things. That's all nerfed on here because you can't do it through the interface. You have to do it through the command line. So for them to like crap out the interface and remove all the features kind of doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't get it. Why did they make this thing so basic? Because let's go to the settings page. This is it. This is all settings, guys. Don't get too excited about it. It's not much here. You have the VLAN settings, which obviously, when I do my explainer video, I'm going to break down how to create them from scratch on the new interface with the edge switch, and how to get things going. But yeah, look at this. That's it. When you click on a port like this one here, there's all the features. Isolate, flow control, limit maximum speed. I mean, you can do the ingress-egress filtering, which I love the fact that they have this per port and it makes it easy that they have it here. But where's all my other features? If you look at the other edge switches, and I've reviewed them a while ago, they have way more features than this. And then they came out with a new interface, and the new interface was like, yeah, we put the new interface on, but it doesn't have all the features, so you have this little option to go back to the old interface. This is like the easier cut-down interface to get the basics configured. Great concept, actually. Have two UIs, one advanced, one basic. Some people just need to get to the basic settings. I like that as a concept. Thank you, UniFi. But why is it missing from this switch? Like, in my 200 heads are about to answer now. Let's see. Windows key plus up arrow. That actually does that in Windows? Huh. Let's see. Home or DOI considering... Oh, thank you for throwing money at me. That does help. Look, it takes a lot to produce these videos. You know, I think it's a cool trade that I get money for the videos, but there is a ton of time that goes into making these videos. Yeah, the reason the Edge and Ubiquiti are secretly the same hardware and they're just giving you better software. They give you very different software. So the use case for when you want an edge switch versus when you want a UniFi switch are very different. We really like the UniFi because the UniFi software-defined networking controller, the UniFi controller software is outstanding, keeps getting better. I just talked to a person at a very, very large company, and they actually revealed to me, and maybe I'm not going to publicly say their name unless they want me to later. That'll be a different topic. But anyways, they reached out to me. We were discussing the sales of Ubiquiti, and they move a lot of hardware. And they said Ubiquiti is starting to outsell their Meraki stuff. And I'm like, what? what? Like, they said they're seeing the demand dramatically go up, which is actually why they reached out to me. They said, a lot of the people we sell to reference your video, so I thought I want to reach out and say hi, and they're a hardware seller for it. So it was an interesting conversation I had this morning with that person. And there's more to come on that, because I'll find out what all we can talk about. It's going to be, people I interview and other people in the industry talking about this. But it's different from a sales standpoint, because you have a hardware dealer who sells multiple different networks. They sell every major brand they sell. But they were talking about, because they see the numbers, their demand for ubiquity has gone up substantially over the last year. So that's just kind of really cool to think about. Let's see. Switch to Authy to manage that large 2FA. No, I'm using Authenticator Plus instead of Authy. But yeah, I've heard Authy's good too. In Authenticator Plus, I have it all on a list. I just need to group them into better groups. And it has the option to group them and organize them. It has profiles where you can, narrow things down to it. I just need to do that. You can only pin Task Manager in Windows? Oh. There are 200 people in this. Here, let's like the stream. Yes, don't forget to do that. There's 35 likes and there's 200 of you. So, thank you, Adam French. Awesome. So we got Lee Kenston Jr. and Adam French throwing money at me. Throwing pounds at me over there. The British pound, $4.99. At least it looks, I assume that's British pound. 49 likes. There's 209 of you. At least if I can get up to 100 likes. This is silly, but it works really well. It makes a big difference to the YouTube algorithm that drives our life and what videos do you watch, whether or not there's a like button. So, awesome, cool. I don't think I got quieter. I see the VU meters moving exactly the same all the way around. So no, other than yelling, click that like button, smash that like button, all that stuff. What else was I going to get to? I was going to plug this in. I don't know if I got time to plug this in and set this up now. I'm going to run out of time before I do it. But I have videos coming. That's why this is on the table. This is all videos coming. But I wanted to get those other videos out about money I make, my entrepreneur friends. And by the way, they were here for 4 hours. We had a great conversation. And it's because we're all good friends and we all talk about our businesses from different perspectives. And then we decide what we were going to share on the video. So there's a lot of that. So it's going to be kind of fun. I'm going to probably get a sit down with Eric Thomas, like me and him do a one-on-one video. I'll come out to like his place and do it. He's someone, if you go to Saga Marketing, and I have links on that entrepreneur video, and look up Eric Thomas. He's quite interesting individual. So retro machines. Oh yeah, some people make them for Patreon. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for Patreon. I feel weird just saying put money on a subscription, but maybe I shouldn't feel weird about it. I don't know. So I do get some Patreon money, and I just forgot to mention it, but I interact with some of those people. I'm trying to figure out what more to offer because I feel like I want to offer everybody something, because here's one of the things. This is one of my beliefs in this. I really like this. So inspiring book was like Alexis Ohanian's book, Without Their Permission. Great book. Why do I like it? Well, one, he made Reddit. That's cool. He did a lot of other neat things he talks about in the book. But the ethos, the thought process, the way he handles things, I find very respectable. Someone had come up and said, hey, I kind of pirated your book and I feel bad. And he goes, you're a college student. I expected it. And he's like, if you don't have money, I don't want your money. And I feel the same way. If I can get someone started in a career in IT, and the only trade you had was just you had to watch some stupid ads that YouTube stuck in there to get a couple dollars from me, but you got some good IT knowledge out of it and it helped you in some way, don't send money to me until you have money. If you don't have money, or if you just don't want to send money to me, don't. Like, I like the fact that YouTube allows that trade to happen with it. So I always feel like I don't want to put this gate where only people who can give me money get more knowledge from me. I want to be able to put it all out there. That now I sell my time, because that's different. My time, YouTube allows me to do sell my time. will take my time once and sell it at scale. Selling my time directly with one-on-one and answering questions, like when people want to hire me for consulting, that you have to buy from an hourly rate. And I haven't figured out a way to do that when you want to do Q&A. This is one of the reasons people, when they DM me, all right, can you just review my network config? I have that happen all the time, and I'm going to reply with my rates. I don't have time to review everyone's, and I get a lot of messages like that. I don't have time to review everyone's network config in detail. I would love to, but I don't know how to do that at scale and maintain in business. Beside GBNT, is there other brands and business switches without? Yeah, I mean, there's Netgears. There's Cisco makes the Cisco Linksys line or what. I don't know what the name of them are. There are brands out there that are like Cisco makes a managed switch that doesn't require a license. It's not a Meraki, and it's not the high-end Cisco. I forget the name of the mid-level ones. It's just eluding me right now, but one of the 200 people in here will definitely put the name and name drop it. But yeah, there's a couple companies out there that are not, as far as ease of use, Ubiquiti's ease of use has brought them, and ease of management has brought them to the forefront as the one people mention all the time, specifically the UniFi line. Because the what I showed you with this EdgeSwitch, the more complicated interface, this is common for most other switches like Netgear and everything else. That's a common interface you're going to see for creating VLANs where you have to exclude and unexclude and do all that. And you're still doing that in the UniFi switch. It's just software making it better. Ooh, it's a scammer. Let's see what this. I'll send them to Scam City. So, anyways. Yeah, Netgear, I mean, they work. Netgear's not amazing. TP-Link, TP-Link has some security issues because there is nothing but VLAN 1. And no matter what VLAN you're in, you can go and get to, watch my TP-Link video. You can always get to the management interface from any VLAN. So, yes, we have a brick and mortar. We're located in Southgate, Michigan. Our address is on the store or on the website. We don't really, yeah, we do have one TP-Link in our rack. That's because tinfoil hat. Our actual servers are not separated by VLANs. They're on a physically independent network with one TP-Link unmanaged switch. And I've seen people, you're wasting ports, which I think is a dumb answer. You're wasting ports. You have a 24-port switch and you're using like 9 ports out of it. I'm like, yeah, the difference between a 24-port, a 16-port, not huge. So we went with the 24-port. We've actually, since we've done the video, plugged a few more things in. We have a separate lockdown server network that is separated physically, not through VLANs. What's the advantage of that? Well, one, bandwidth. Those servers have full bandwidth across the switch. None of it's being VLAN'd, none of it's shared with anything else. Two, it's physically separate without DHCP, like someone had mentioned before, having a management VLAN. This is a physically separate network, so there's no way for someone to get into my UniFi controller and jump over to that network. Ain't gonna happen, because it can't. It's physically different. Someone would have to plug something in. So we have a special network just for our back-end servers that is physically separated from there. So what else we got here? 8 Mile. Let's see. Hello from upstate New York. Cisco Business Line. We are HP Aruba's work, but they're so clunky. Yeah, I haven't touched an Aruba in a while, but they are kind of clunky. We used to do some ProCurve work. We had a lot of clients with a bunch of ProCurves. Same thing, clunky. What else we got? Why did someone say 8 Mile? Lee, 8 Mile. Are you saying you are from or are asking if I'm close to 8 Mile? I was on 8 Mile yesterday at visiting a customer. Let's see. I wish the USG would get more love. Yeah, I'm going to do a video about them. They are just not, they don't have features. It's not a bad product unless you are unhappy about the features. Hello from Flint. Awesome. I used to work for D-Link, and we would always recommend people go with Linksys. Yeah. Funny. So, on the topic of 8 Mile, in case you keep up with news and things like that, it's kind Kind of amusing. Eminem's record label is suing Spotify over 8 Mile, the movie / record album, because Spotify claims they didn't know and were. They also claim they looked and couldn't find who held the licenses to it, which is actually kind of an absurd claim. I don't know the details. I was reading through it because I was talking with my tech friends about it. But it's kind of an interesting thing. Spotify basically played music they didn't have a license for, so they paid no royalties. And their defense was, we couldn't figure out who owned all those songs. I'm like, even if you are like under a rock, you kind of, if you know anything about music, whether you like them or not, you know who Eminem is, and Eminem's movie 8 Mile was kind of famous. So to say someone as big as Spotify has an entire team of people to go, we weren't sure who to send the royalties to, so they're being sued. I don't know if that's what you were bringing up when you said 8 Mile or not. What's my opinion on USG versus EdgeRouter X? The same problem. I'm going to do another breakdown video because I get so many people asking questions, and I'm going to put all 3 of these together. I'm going to put a, I don't have the edge router at hand. I'm going to do an edge router, a USG, and a pfSense. Line them all up. Here's the popular switches I talk about, or routers I talk about. Why do I choose one over the other? The edge routers are really powerful, but right away, someone in the forums, I said, here you go, buddy. Here, they're like, I want to do this and this and this. And I said, no problem. They're like, but it's all command line. I'm like, yeah, it is. And so it's not that things can't be done in the edge router. It's the fact that it's all command line. That's just, if you're not ready to work everything from the command line, sorry, the edge router's not for you. And any advanced features, you always have to drop to the command. They've gotten better. They've added more stuff to the interface. USG, same problem. Command line, but even worse because it just breaks randomly when you use the command line. I won't even support those configs. So the super simple site-to-site VPN on a USG, only good feature out there. That is amazing feature. I do like that. I don't care. I haven't used OpenWRT in forever, and I probably won't. I don't have a reason to. This little box, the reason I'm holding it and the reason we keep buying them, this is like $169 of awesome. I know it's someone's going, but I can build a WRT router for half the price. I know, but for a few dollars more, you get like all the amazing features. I want to do a failover HA video with 2 of these just to show that there's so much power in these little boxes. They're so configurable. You can configure a physical HA, physical high availability failover between 2 switches that are $169 each because the software is that powerful on them. Yeah, running lines of text, so. But why is it plastic? That's part of keeping things cheap. Making things out of plastic is cheaper than metal. That's just manufacturing 101. The hardware cost even less that can run. I know you can get, name of the place eludes me. There, you can look up the board that this is built on. It's got like a name like the coffee board or something. You can buy the hardware this is built on for less without their branding. So yeah, there is a way you could acquire this for less money and build it out. So that's possible. Yeah. Oh yeah, JSON configs are a nightmare on USG. Tell me about it. And especially when there's updates to the USG and it goes into a boot loop, we don't support it. People ask us, we don't want to do the jobs. We do pass on those because we're like, look, we're going to do it unsupported and it's probably going to break. And people go, what? I say, yeah, I don't guarantee it works. I'll charge you. I'll take your money if you insist, but you're completely on your own for support. And if it breaks, flash it again and hold the reset button in and start over. Yeah, the ERX is metal. They did a good job with that. I won't lie, I like the fact that it's metal. Snort blocking stuff on a network sometimes. Oh, I don't have an issue with snort blocking stuff on network. We have it blocking stuff on the network. We have, we're using Suricata, but with the feeds, we do have it on there, so. I wish New Hidro were a full rack. I don't know. Costa Rica, hello from where it's nice and warm. Yeah, Latte Panda, that's another one. There's a couple of them out there that will do stuff, but no, I'm not likely to do a free radius pfSense free. I did a free radius on pfSense. I'm probably not going to do anything for free IPA. That's not likely in my things I'm going to do. Let's see. Does Snort work on that? I don't know. I haven't tested it. I'm going to guess no. Not if you want to route anything fast. I don't have it running on here. It just probably is going to... Snort or Suricata, take your choice. Either one of them is going to be processor intensive. When you're pushing a lot of packets, that through those things, packet inspection has a higher processing cost, and I think it would slow the system down too much. So, and I don't need it at home at all. Matter of fact, I just don't care to run it. I don't have a purpose at home to run that. It just doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, you can. I have this, and this is a nice super micro 1U server that has that right now actually has Untangle on it. So I want to do another series on Untangle. I have a lot of ambition. I need more time, but I have Untangle set up here because we're going to be doing some demos on Untangle on this. So, what's the most extreme firewall? I don't understand it as a question. We've mostly replaced all the Protect LEs. There's still a few of them out there. We liked them in the beginning until Netgate came up with some better options. In the earlier days, one of the reasons I used Protect LE, and I know Netgate doesn't like the fact that I was using them with theirs because they were, oh, they don't support the project. I'm like, I know. And I think they had some beef with them, which properly, their license says don't ship it with pfSense. I think Protect LE was and stopped. Good. But we were using some of those hardware ones because Netgate didn't have an offering that fit all these small businesses. I'm like, I need something inexpensive. They don't want to spend $1,000 on a firewall. And then they came up with the SG3100. That changed everything. That firewall is $349, and it's a great deal at $349. We sell a ton of that particular model. We sell a lot of these, mostly to home users, but our go-to for a little 5-person office is going to be the 3100. It's just a solid, works great, out of the box, dual failover, 4 ports on it, done. Just quickly install it, it works. I'm sure it'll run. It comes down to, I have a 300 meg connection at home, and I've had problems before with a slower one where my kids couldn't play games. It tried, once the game started sending all the packets, it couldn't keep up. The processor would go high, and it wasn't this. It was a different one I had when I was doing some testing with a virtual machine. It just kept crapping out whenever I turned Snort on. Is there a DPI module? Not really. There's not much for DPI on pfSense. DPI is so limited anyways. It's a cat and mouse game. You can use, I mean, it does have, I've done a couple of videos on it. It does have a DPI thing, but it just doesn't, I'm not impressed by it, but I'm not impressed by really any. Cisco's DPI is pretty good, but it's because you're paying for the constant update and feed. The more and more things that get pushed towards SSL, they're making a lot of assumptions to build DPI data by looking at what IP addresses they're going to. So it's a cat and mouse game, and it's not that helpful to me. Yeah, NUCs will support as well, but NUC is a lot more expensive than this, and a NUC is still more expensive than an SG3100. WatchGuard to pfSense. Yes, there's a way to load WatchGuard onto the pfSense, which is pretty cool too. Definitely pretty neat. Well, I am happy you guys helped me solve that little edge thing. I guess it's probably just part of the check when it's trying to do that. I was going to talk about something else, but I can't remember what. I'm winding down because I do have a few more things to do today. Getting those things done leads to the next things that got to get done, leads to me doing videos about edge switches, leads to me doing videos about these fancy things. And I have some more videos. Oh, if you guys, actually, I'll pull this up to show you. I have a problem, which I got to tweet at Tesla about, because I don't know how else to deal with this problem. But we're going to pull it up and pause it on the screen that's relevant here. I am going to do some more Tesla videos, and one of them is the silliness of this. Let's see where it happens at. So what I'm running into with the autopilot, there's a couple spots that I pass way too frequently. Where, here, we'll switch to the video here. So what's happening is, my car's going to start assuming it's, I'm doing 70, I'm on the freeway, right? Watch what this does. This is crazy. This is a big autopilot problem. So, you know, you're rolling down the freeway, 70 mile an hour. Everything's cool, right? And 35. And when it says 35, please note, it starts dropping my speed limit and slowing the car down to 35 on the freeway. This is kind of dangerous and a real problem, so I got to sort that out. Oh, so that's, yeah. How does one get traffic shaping with everything these days uses 80 or 443? Not easily. You have to put them into queues and buckets. Yeah, it's a challenge getting traffic shaping when everything runs over 80 and 443. It is a true. There's options to do it inside of there, and maybe I need to do another traffic shaping video or do one. I can't remember if I did one or not, but yeah. Do you offer residential wiring services? Kind of. We offer less on the residential side because it costs double what it costs to do it in a commercial building because it turns into a construction project. So contact us and yeah. Thanks for the nice to have a room full of people to ping things on. Yes, it is. Thank you for solving that problem there. Well, let's see here. You can use Azure MFA as Radius server. Yeah, that's interesting. Customer asks for real content filtering. Yes, we do all the time. And we prefer to install it on a desktop because the only way to get real content filtering is to install a certificate in every firewall that matches a certificate on every computer behind the firewall. That becomes a pain. There's ways to do it. Yes, you can even tie it into AD. We've got a project like that coming up. But it's not my preferred way to do it. Sophos offers one like that. FortiGate. If you get the whole FortiGate kit, if you get a FortiGate firewall with a FortiGate certificate installer, like they have a whole kit, it loads the FortiGate software on every computer so you can do per site filtering. Our preferred solution, we use the SolarWinds web filtering. Done. It's easier. I don't have to go swapping out firewalls and maintaining another layer. It's in our SolarWinds dashboard. And this is how quick this happens. Customer calls, hey, I don't know why this site's blacklisted. We look real quick. Yep, sure is blacklisted. Go into SolarWinds dashboard, push. Is it unblacklisted? It sure is. Thank you. By the way, then we hit push to all clients because it was a false positive. We fill out a little thing in SolarWinds. Now I have hundreds of computers all pushed simultaneously within seconds, all updated, done. Why would I want to go into Firewall and do it? That seems like the hard way. Yeah, Detroit traffic. Yeah, you're doing 75. I'm in the middle lane at 75 getting past. Because 35 speed limit from the GPS program settings. Well, that's what's confusing. I know there's errors in the GPS database, but how would they assume a road, the freeway jumps to 35 and back? And it does it in more than one spot. So, yeah, map update needed for sure. Do you set up battery backups on the SG models? I have not. They fail fine when the power goes out, so I don't really worry about it. If you have a battery backup, it usually ties to the more critical things like the database server and stuff like that. So I don't worry about setting the UPS up on the netgates themselves. Greetings from there. Yeah, Barracuda's got some filtering options. What else we got here? No, there is no road under a bridge. That's actually what's interesting. There's no surface streets by there. Going through an industrial area, there's railroad tracks next to me. There's not a road under it. I'm not on an overpass. So it's kind of weird. And so it's a strange situation. SolarWinds MSP is an option, yes, but for networks, there are devices like iPads and iPhones. Yeah, but here's the problem. You have to install a certificate on all the iPads and iPhones. Good luck with that. Good, that's fun to support. I've done it. I know how to do it, but it's kind of a headache. Even on the Android side, it is a bit. So, yeah, last time. Yep, speed limit on that road. So the speed limit is 70 there, and when you go further north on I-75, it gets all the way up to 75. So best free open source filtering options don't exist because maintaining a list is too hard. We use PF Blocker to block a bunch of crappy sites, and that's about it. No one wants to spend the time maintaining the list for free. That's the bottom line. If no one maintains a list for free, you don't get your free filtering. Mostly what you're paying for is those feeds. Even Untangle. Untangle has filtering. They have a nice filtering system. That's actually one of the prime videos I'm going to be doing is the Untangle filtering system. But it's not free, and people are going to cry about it, going, they're not going to give it away to me. Yeah, it takes an entire NOC team to run it. I mean, at some point, I don't know what to tell you. So if someone wants to volunteer their time of categorizing websites of what's good and bad and putting them all in and then constantly keeping that feed up to date and then make it all open source and give it away, sounds like an awesome idea. I don't know how to pay for it, but it sounds like an awesome idea. Database of construction work. That could be too. Maybe it's because of construction. I don't remember the construction speed being any lower than 45 last time it was under construction. It was under construction for a year, so, I mean, it definitely was. Yeah, DNS filtering is about it. So that's, yeah. Pi-hole uses the same feed as PF Blocker. So PF Blocker on this is the same as Pi-hole separate. Why not just use PF Blocker on this? Makes sense. Smoothwall. Well, Smoothwall does it. Untangle does it. Untangle does filtering as well, just like Smoothwall. They're all using Squid on the back end, for those of you that didn't know. So they're all using the same thing on the back end. It's just a matter of which company you want to choose and which feeds you want to use. That's how Untangle makes some of their money, is buying the licenses that supply the feeds. That's where the money comes from. Well, that's where the money goes, I should say. The money comes from you buying a subscription with the filter and the licensing, and they make the money. Yeah, DNS filter's okay, and it's only going to stop people who are trying to this. So what's the best paid version? I don't know. There's a lot of them out there. Untangle does a pretty good job, but it's too hard to subjectively rate it because you'd have to try to find all the websites you want blocked, try to figure out which one's using the better feed for filtering, and it's not super easy. DNS filter is one of them I've heard a lot of people mention, but it's all based on DNS, which is not horrible. KillSafe would be able to blacklist one article, but yeah, when you get down to one single article, that means they aren't blocking it at the DNS level, they're blocking it at the filter level, which means certificates installed again. So, because, for example, you can see through traffic you went to lawrencesystems.com, but you can't see what you went to, what page you landed on within lawrencesystems.com, not without SSL inspection. So we can see the IP inspection and go, hey, that's Lawrence Systems IP address, so we know that they're going there to get into what data traversed it, so right to the article level, which page they landed on, for example. So you go to a news site, we can tell you went to the news site, we don't know what article you read on the site, not without SSL inspection. So, yeah. Let's see, I went on for 20 more minutes, so now I'm going to wander off. Thank you for joining me. I could go on forever, and I would. Please, 109 likes. Please click the other few of you. Oh, someone unliked it. So, that's cold. That's cold. Someone unliked my video. If you can click the like before you leave, or apparently could, thank you. Someone put it back up to 109, 112, awesome. But I have to run. I have to go do some stuff with my son, and I picked up a scooter, and electric scooter he wants to play with, so I got to go grab him and the electric scooter and go goof off. So I'm going bike riding. He's lazy and doesn't want to pedal, so he's going to have an electric scooter. Should I review the electric scooter? There's a final question. Are you guys interested in a Xiaomi electric scooter review by Tom? I don't know. Raspberry Pi 4 videos are coming. Matter of fact, my staff, not me, I don't know what they did, but they did it. They got Shinobi running on Raspberry Pi 4. So they did a better Raspberry Pi 4 surveillance system than I did. So I'm kind of interested. They were showing me how it works, so I'm fascinated with it. So I got to reverse engineer what they did to and make a video about it. So that's definitely coming. So review it? Yes. I'll review it. It'll be a short review, but it's pretty cool. And Xavier's been hacking them, so, or has he? We'll leave it up there. We'll discuss that. Matter of fact, I've already got the updated software on here to do stuff and things, so there's that. Raspberry Pi mounted camera, yeah. Raspberry Pi is hot. Yes, we 3D printed cases and have been testing them. We have a lot of work. I got a lot of notes for the Raspberry Pi 4, and I may either just bring Eric to help disseminate that information, and me and him will do a co-opted video, or maybe me and Kyle, whichever one of them has more knowledge in their head that I can get out of their head. But the Shinobi works, which is really cool. We're using it with IP cameras, so we're setting up a Raspberry Pi surveillance system. That is running in the other room, and it's pretty cool. That's going to be a cool kit video I'm excited about. No, I don't have a one wheel, but I got the Xiaomi like 2-wheel scooters, so we'll talk about that. So that's going to be kind of fun. Yeah, the electric bikes are cool. I'm a big bicycle person. That's one of my favorite ways to relax. So if you look up any of my personal stuff, I've talked about before about some of the bicycles I have. I spend most of my time on a recumbent bicycle, I should say. I got rid of most of them. So yes, Flickr makes it. We 3D printed our case and built in fans and everything. So that's going to be a fun thing. Oh, and we have a 3D printer that I got 7 months ago that we're going to do a review on. It's a really cool 3D printer, and we're going to talk about that because it's how we make these. If you haven't seen these before in the videos, yes, that's an octopus flipping you off, and that's the yeah. My motorcycle goes faster. My motorcycle does go quite fast, so that's definitely. I ride my motorcycle a lot too. First, just gonna bike ride to my son, and then my son's got to go do stuff, and after that, I'm going to go ride my motorcycle some, and then I'm going to watch. I've been on the series Billions. It's been great. I'm a big fan of this. So, Flip Octopus. It's actually called very similar, but I'm not going to say it because I don't need to swear on the live stream. But you're really close. Flipped Octopus is better. That's what I will call it in mixed company. But we certainly were calling it an F Octopus something. So, I'm not flipping you off at all. I am doing that. Oh, someone says, what kind of motorcycle do I have? I'll share that real quick. Someone asked, and I actually just had a picture of it the other day. Oh, I guess I could talk real quick. So that's the motorcycle I'm riding right now, EX500. It's my son eating pizza. So yeah, that's the motorcycle I have right now that I ride. Oh, here. If you guys, this is wild, so I'll show you guys this real quick. I don't know if anyone on here is a car person. Last Saturday, I just kind of wandered around, and I was checking out. This is a one-of-a-kind custom-built car with a North Star engine in it. The Dream Cruise was last week. The largest car show in all the world was the Dream Cruise, and these are a few photos of different. I love really wild custom cars and things like that. I'm a huge fan, so I was like, look at this thing. This thing is wild. It's kind of built on a Jeep frame. I was just like, that is so wild. And then it's Corvette. The same guy built all these cars. They were just pretty wild. Then, you know, your usual 80s looking cars, the Ferrari. This was just a beautiful piece of work. And I don't know what happened there. That's this monstrosity was rolling through Detroit. I still liked it, though. I'm like, that's cool. Lowriders. I love rat rods, things like that. So I am a car person. I do enjoy a lot of that. So new season of Billions 4. Yes. So that's all coming here. Specialized Cannondale Giant. I run the bike I have. Matter of fact, here. So I'll talk about my bicycle too real quick. Let me find it. I make sure there's no personal photos in here that I can't share. It's actually, sometimes there's just pictures of customer stuff. That's mostly what this is. That's the only reason I switch between it. There's really nothing that exciting. I'm old and don't do that. This is the bicycle I ride. It's an HP Velotechnik from Germany, imported. This is my recumbent bike. So, and those are deer. I was just right down the street. This is right down the street from my office. Right next to the river. There's a bunch of deer over there. So that's what I actually go pedal on. So for those of you wondering what bike I have. Cool. Electronic scooters are limited to 20. Not when you have the app that can unlock them. That's actually something we're going to talk about. HP Velotech. Yeah, Technic. Am I saying it wrong? Yes, there's deer in Detroit. So, how do you stay up on it? I have a video review. If you search for HP Velotechnik, you'll find my personal YouTube channel where I've reviewed that bike. So, I like bicycles a lot. I always have. Always been a big fan. All right. Thank you for all of you that joined me. Thank you for the 136 of you that clicked the like button. And I know there's a few dislikes. No thank you for you. So, it's not that hard if you panic stop on them. It's easier than you think. It's not as bad as you think. Look for reviews on them. They're really awesome bikes. And once again, thanks for joining. See you guys next Thursday. Join me for How They Got Hacked tomorrow at roughly between 7 and 8. We're always fuzzy on that, but it happens between 7 and 8 every Friday night, Eastern Standard Time. How They Got Hacked with me, Xavier, and Mo, diving into how they got hacked. It's just like it sounds, talking security. Maybe I'll have the scooter here. Maybe Xavier will bring some stuff and hack the scooter on the show. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens there. 140 likes. Oh, damn it. Someone, oh, you said it. You said 140 and someone took them away. Someone took my likes away. Yep. See you guys around next time. More videos coming on all the other stuff that I had here. And thank you. I'm going to quit babbling or I'll never leave.